The silent majority is no longer silent. This is The War Room with Owen Schroyer.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
All right, I'm still shuffling through my news here and all my video clips. We got another loaded broadcast, and I had already planned on doing this today. But summer in a off-election year is usually one of the worst times to be in political media and in news broadcasting. Off years where there's no election, it's already down. Everybody knows that. Election years are big. Obviously, presidential election year is the biggest. And so normally this is when political news and media is kind of at its lowest viewership and least interest as far as the general population is concerned. But I've got to say, the numbers here at InfoWars are not sinking. And considering we are the most banned name in news, that really means a lot. And that's because this audience has been steadfast in its support of us, not just financially at InfoWarsStore.com, but also in the digital marketplace where we're banned, sharing the clips, finding new ways to clip them up and edit them and make them go viral, following what we do here, telling friends and family. And also thanks to your financial support at InfoWarsStore.com, we've been able to make a few key hires recently. It's a tight budget around here, but we've been able to make a few key hires that have really solidified what we do here. And so I just want to say, before I even get into the show today and before I get into the news today, I want to give big ups to the crew. I want to give big ups to the crew, and I want to give big ups to the audience because, honestly, we are not supposed to be on air right now. I will just tell you that. You know how corrupt things are. You know how bad it is. We survived the onslaught, folks. We did it. And we're still battling. Don't get me wrong. It's still a fight every day. And we pick ourselves up after every brutal fight and we get right back to it. But we survived. We're here. And it shows you the possibility of America. Because somebody asked me about elections today. I've had two interesting conversations today. One person asked me, is it still worth even voting? The whole thing is rigged. And I said, here's the two reasons why it's worth it. One, because if you want to have influence on your politicians, say you call or email them, they're going to see if you voted, so you want to be on record voting. Two, it shows that we have faith in the system. If we have the system working properly, we have faith that the system will work as intended. So we don't want to abandon it because that gives the tyrants the reason to remove it entirely. And then somebody else this guy's an American patriot. And he's saying, Owen, it's harder for me to say I'm proud to be an American today than ever before. Are you proud to be an American? Are you proud of the country? Is it even worth fighting for? And I said, yes, it is. It absolutely is. Because there is no other country that changed the world like this country did. And the forebearers, your ancestors, believed in freedom. And they raised you to believe in freedom and cherish independence and understand the rewards and also the risks of self-government. And I absolutely believe that is worth fighting for. Because it was a fight just to achieve it, folks. It was a fight just to get to this point. So absolutely, it's worth it to continue fighting for America. So the people that listen to this transmission, the people that visit Infowars.com and share the articles and share the videos, the crew that's been working here, some for decades, some just learning the ropes, we are the ones fighting hardest for America, and it feels better than ever because more people have joined our fight now than ever before. And here you are in the most downtime in political media. Our numbers are up. Here you are in supposedly the most disinterested time in politics, and more people are interested than ever before. You did that. We did that together. And I have hope for the future. It might be dark in the near future, but beyond that is the great light. days like this. It's the InfoWars War Room, brought to you by InfoWarsStore.com. Fastest 3 hours on the internet starts now on this Thursday, July 27th, 2023. I've got a ton of video clips here. We had some action at the Capitol today. You can't even believe that this is going on. Congressional testimony today. There are only two genders. Yes, there are only two genders, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I just said them both. Huh, isn't that funny? It's like it's natural, organic, science, settled science. So that was, there was some hilarious stuff from there. And it's like wide open now. Own the libs. Say there's two genders. Wow. And then there's the Biden crime family. And a bunch of developments there. And the White House press pool is losing patience. The White House press pool is losing patience because even scum suckers that live in Washington, D.C. and report for the Democrat Party, you know, they can kind of hang around and be like a barnacle on the side of the boat for long enough, but there's nothing left to feed on now. And so they're like, where's Joe Biden? We need a press conference. Like, you won't answer anything about Hunter Biden. Like, yeah. So the scum suckers, the barnacles that are the front lines of the propaganda for the Democrat Party, they're starting to get a little fed up here. And, so we saw Mitch McConnell with his health problems. Obviously, it's well known about Joe Biden's health problems. And then Dianne Feinstein has still not fully recovered from her health problems. And then she had a moment today. So we're going to have all of that for you, as well as some more movements with the 2024 presidential election. And I would say at this point, it's about 99% Joe Biden is out as far as going to be the nominee. The process from now till then, we can speculate. And I think the conclusion is Newsom, Obama in some way, shape, or form. But this is what I think is going to be the new operational procedures out of the White House. Joe Biden is a lame duck president, meaning it doesn't matter what damage he does anymore, because he's not really going to be running for re-election. So they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want now and figure it's going to be without consequence politically because Joe Biden isn't running again, and they can blame it on Joe Biden, or everybody can blame it on Joe Biden, but he's not running, so that's not his fault. We've moved on. And so because of that, I do expect them to arrest Donald Trump before the election and maybe not let him out of jail. This is now a lame duck presidency, meaning that you approach things with the attitude that there are no political consequences to your actions because you're not actually up for re-election. That is going to be the Biden administration from here on out. And considering that, I am now convinced 99% they will arrest Donald Trump before the election. Now, we already know one case they want him to go to court before the election. There'll probably be 3 or 4 different cases they want him in court before the election. But they have just, I mean, I'm not trying to be graphic here, but this is the best analogy for it. They have been jacking themselves off for 7 years to get Trump in jail. And I mean, they need to finish. You understand? They have been rubbing themselves for 7 years, and they got to finish the job. They got to have their political climax. So they can't handle their political blue balls anymore. They can't handle it, folks. They're going to have to finish this job. They're going to have to get off. So they're going to arrest Donald Trump before the election. Guaranteed it. All the signs point to it. And they'll all just blame Biden, and all the tyrannical power grabs and everything else, they'll just blame on Biden, and then he won't be running, and so it'll all be fine. Lame duck president. So we'll get further into that today as well. Oh, this administration is so corrupt, it's unreal. They are not going to be charging. They will not be pursuing charges for campaign finance violations in the Sam Bankman-Fried case. If I gave you one guess as to who the number 2 donor from Sam Bankman-Fried was, do you think you could figure it out? Do you think you could guess who it was? Or if I could give you one of the main countries that Sam Bankman-Fried was sending crypto assets to, do you think you could guess what country that is too? Wouldn't take a genius, would it? Everybody knows now. Everybody knows now. So we'll give you a little tease, but you know, I know, you know. So that's coming up. The double standards in the White House, I mean, that's every day. Oh. We have a rare opportunity today. I'm sorry that it has to do this, and I don't like the left-right division, but I'm going to tell it like it is. We have a rare opportunity today to really delve into the psychology of the American left and show you why it's so dangerous and prove that they now have consciously decided they are going to be history's actors as the bad guys, as the authoritarians, as the totalitarian tyrants, but they justify it all by saying, you need to be destroyed, you're a racist, you need to be destroyed, you're causing climate change, you need to be destroyed, you're a homophobe, and they know it's all a lie. And so I've got a rare opportunity with some video clips and some quotes from some American leftists today. And so when you understand that psychology, you understand how dangerous these people really are. I mean, this is how you get Nazi Germany with the Nazis, and they justify it. Just like the Nazis would justify rounding up the Jews and burning them. This is your new American left now. They will justify throwing their political opposition into burn pits. And they'll dance around and celebrate like they do when they abort their babies. So we have a rare opportunity to do that today. And we will do that today. But yeah, we'll definitely be showing you the growing lack of patience from the White House press pool. An interesting suggestion. You know, I noticed that it's inevitable that as we feel our political power growing, we're gonna try to leverage that in other areas of life like culture. So there's a debate going on right now. Did the Kardashian family destroy an entire generation of women? Did the Kardashian family destroy an entire generation of women? 6.2 million people were asked that question on X or Twitter. What do you think? Did the Kardashians destroy an entire generation of women? We'll delve into that idea at some point today as well. And then the usual, they're building up for a world government, and everybody knows it now. But they're going to tell you it's to protect you from aliens, and they're going to tell you it's to protect you from global warming, and they're going to tell you it's to protect you from a pandemic. And so that's why it's key to destroy all the false narratives. And I'm not saying the alien stuff is all false narratives, but when they start using that to push global government, that's when you know not to trust it. That's where it's probably going to end up going pretty soon. All right, it's the Biden crime family, and everybody knows about it now. And so that's why, one of the reasons why Joe Biden is now a lame duck president. The Democrats will replace him before the election, and they will use him as the front man in an attempt to destroy Donald Trump, even if he has to corrupt every federal bureaucracy and institution against Donald Trump. He does not care. The Democrats do not care. He's a lame duck president. That is where we're at now. So what will take Joe Biden down? Will it be Hunter Biden? Will it be he's blackmailed by China and Ukraine and Russia? Will it be some of this other stuff that we're seeing? Will it be his dogs keep biting everybody in the White House? Will it be who's ever dealing drugs in the White House? Will it be his own health? The House Oversight Committee releases this today. Oh, it's getting worse. It's getting worse for the Biden crime family. Biden family cover-up. In the transcript from Hunter Biden's plea agreement hearing, Hunter Biden admits that CCP, that's the Chinese Communist Party, CCP-linked CEFC chairman Yi Jinping was his business partner. The court asked Hunter Biden, who was your partner? Hunter Biden responded, I don't know how to spell his name. Yi Jinping is the chairman of that company. And now when China moves into Taiwan and when China helps support Russia in the war, maybe now you know why China is eating our lunch. Because they own Joe Biden. And I'm telling you, there are serious Republicans that are getting down to the bottom of this, folks. And there might be some saboteurs in there. There might be some double agents in there. There's definitely a cover-up going on. But they've bitten off more than they can chew. And I think really it's that the Clintons were so good at committing crimes, they were pretty much able to get away with it. I mean, you know, we've read Peter Schweizer's book and everything else, but the Bidens are not as smart or savvy as the Clintons, clearly. Joe Biden is not a very smart guy, and obviously Hunter didn't stray far from that tradition. And so their criminality is just wide out in the open, and they're just not that bright. Now, so Clinton was kind of addicted to, you know, women, sex. So that's kind of what exposed him. But Biden is on a different level. This guy's never seen a criminal money laundering scam or theft that he didn't want to engage in. So it's kind of like Bill Clinton never saw an intern he wanted to penetrate. Joe Biden never saw a foreign deal he wanted to sign to make himself rich and sell the country out. Same with Hunter Biden. And they were engaged in censorship, and now we have more proof. Facebook and Instagram censored posts because of unconstitutional pressure from the Biden White House, House Judiciary Committee chairman reveals after obtaining internal records. So from vaccines to the Hunter Biden laptop, the U.S. government was trying to protect the Biden crime family. Anna Paulina Luna claims this is the evidence she has seen into the Biden crime family. She has seen 20 shell corporations run by Biden, FBI documents naming the big guy in pay for play with foreign governments. Remember, that's 10% for the big guy. Bank records proving Biden family was enriched by his position by countries like China. IRS whistleblower stating Hunter was protected by DOJ, IRS, and FBI. I do believe Joe Biden will be impeached. So look, I've seen both opinions on the Hunter Biden matter yesterday in court. Some saying this is signs that this judge is serious about getting to the bottom of Hunter Biden's crimes. Others say this is a legal tactic to keep the pressure off of Joe Biden and on Hunter. It could be both. But see, it's a tit for tat. More gets exposed on Joe Biden, more comes out about the Biden crime family, then they decide the next round of charges against Donald Trump. This one everybody should be pissed about this, except I guess those that benefited from it. DOJ will not pursue campaign finance charge against Sam Bankman-Fried. No campaign finance charge to be seen there. Do you know who the number 2 recipient, I guess the number 1 recipient, Democrats, number 2 recipient, Biden Victory Fund. And most of that money went to liberal causes. Liberal causes. And Democrat Party direct donations. And the DOJ will not be prosecuting. So, I mean, look, who knows? The judge could be sitting there like, okay, Sam Bankman-Fried, this guy is basically retarded, and so he just got used. He doesn't even know what's going on half the time. And so it's just, you know, they can't even charge a guy because he's mentally retarded. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that's what this whole thing looks like with Bankman-Fried and Carolyn Ellison. And so, or this is the most obvious cover-up scheme you've ever seen in your life. Will not be pursuing campaign finance violation charges? I mean, how much money disappeared? Just disappeared. Gone. Sam Bankman-Fried, banks collapsed. And here you go. Here's Bankman-Fried telling you about where a lot of that money went in clip 8.
Last time we talked, we were talking about philanthropy, and I know you set up, working with the Ukrainian government, ways to use crypto to raise money for the government. I just wanted to ask you quickly, because obviously they've also changed the rules, concerns about sort of spillover effects and substitution away from their currency. Yep. How much money did you raise, and what do you think about this
for Ukraine?
A tool for the governments, but also the risks associated with it too?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that gets to the point that this can be a great thing for the world. I think it can also be a really messy thing. But I think that at its core, you know, we've seen millions of dollars go through, you know, the systems we've given. I think something close to $1 million ourselves as well to support, you know, humanitarian aid.
All right. You get the point. You get the point. So this guy laundered at least tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars directly to the Democrat Party, Joe Biden campaign funds, and Ukraine. And the DOJ will not be pursuing campaign finance violations. Isn't it beautiful? InfoWars never sleeps. Never gives up, never gives in. Folks, I hope you can join us. I'm really hoping to be impactful with this. This is the most Americana thing I think I could ever accomplish in my life, is to help influence Greg Abbott to cut property taxes. So I'm going to do anything I can, including organizing a rally. Texans, please join me Saturday, September 23rd, from noon to 2 p.m. at the governor's mansion here in downtown Austin. Peaceful rally in support of Governor Abbott cutting property taxes for us Texans, and once again making Texas undeniably the greatest state in the union. I think we got a little competition right now with Florida. But you cut property taxes here, I think we're up above Florida. Debatable, but that's how I feel. Hope you can join us. And this is all made possible with your support at InfoWarsStore.com. We will be taking the truck out that day. That is the plan, thanks to your support at InfoWarsStore.com. It's Patriot Pride Month, by the way. Huge sales, huge discounts on pretty much everything at the website. It's basically Christmas in July, the Patriot Pride Month. Emergency food supplies, water filters, air filters, all 10% off. And then, of course, you have some of the top-rated, top-selling supplements like Brain Force Plus, Brain Force Ultra, 50% off. Some of the most popular things that we've ever had, like Turbo Force Plus, it almost always sells out, but it's 25% off right now while supplies last. So this is all part of the Patriot Pride Month happening right now, and you get double Patriot points with every order that can be used towards future purchases. And you go make a big purchase right now, those double Patriot points, you'll probably be able to turn around and use them right there if you so desire. InfoWarsStore.com. It's your support there that keeps us on the air. But there's a reason why when we open up the phone lines, people call in and rave about the products because they are truly great. Okay. Jill Biden's ex-husband claims that the Biden crime family has been targeting him for years. The Biden crime family. You know, I'm not going to say that I was the one that first said the Biden crime family, but I really made sure to just hammer that into my lexicon and into these broadcasts. I may have said it more than anybody else, but it has definitely stuck. Again, I'm not saying I originated it, but it has definitely stuck. So let's keep the Biden crime family in our lexicons here. That's what it'll go down as, the Biden crime family. That's what it is. In a new interview, Jill Biden's ex-husband claimed the powerful brood is targeting former President Donald Trump the same way they bullied him during his divorce 50 years ago. Frankie Biden of the Biden crime family comes up to me and goes, "Give her the house or you're going to have serious problems." Didn't Joe Biden's ex-wife die right before all this? Give her the house or you're going to have serious problems. Bill Stevenson, Joe Biden's ex, told Newsmax Greg Kelly last night. The moment President Biden's brother Frank allegedly approached him when he and Jill divorced in the mid-1970s. I looked at Frankie and I said, "Are you threatening me?" Needless to say, 2 months later, my brother and I were indicted for a tax charge. Does this not sound like a gangster, a mafia family here? Joe Biden's brother approaches this man married to Jill Biden and says, "Hey, that woman is Joe's now. Back off or you're going to have problems, bud." Cue the Godfather theme. I mean, holy crap. But I'm sure it's nothing that Joe Biden's ex-wife died in a car crash. Oh, no, the Biden crime family couldn't be more obvious at this point. And the media, the White House press gaggle, the Democrat scumsuckers are getting a little frustrated here as to why Joe Biden won't take questions from the media. Here's an exchange in clip 5.
Finally, just as far as the questions about the president's health, I think that would be all cleared up if, once again, if we could just ask him to step out of that door into this room for 45 minutes. And so I ask you again to pass that along to him, to ask him to come out and see us.
I appreciate the request. Thank you for the request. The president, as you know...
very busy? Very busy?
Again, I appreciate the question, and I get it, and the president understands. You guys want to ask him questions and have the opportunity for him to answer your questions. I do want to say this is a president that has done more in the first 2.5 years, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to really giving the American people a little bit of breathing room than any other president. All you got to do
less
is
breathing room than ever.
All you got to do is look at where we are in this country. There was a conversation for almost 2 years about a recession, and now you have economists saying that because of the work that this president has done these past 2 years, we're not headed in that way.
He doesn't know which way he's headed.
You know, this is a president that wakes up every morning thinking about the American people and doing their job and doing the work, and you see that.
No.
You see that, again, in the historic pieces of legislation, whether it's the bipartisan infrastructure legislation. That was a joke. Infrastructure Week was a joke.
Oh, it's a joke.
And now we're talking about infrastructure decade. You know, CHIPS and Science Act, we're able to do that in a bipartisan way. You're going to see the president in Maine tomorrow talking about how to bring jobs back to this country, how to bring manufacturing back to this country.
Wow. That's epic stuff right there. You notice how they've abandoned the whole, Joe Biden is busy routine, because everybody knows that's a lie. So now it's just, he's doing great with the economy, so just stop complaining. We have breathing room. There is no breathing room in the economy right now. That's the story. That's the story. You know, you can go find it right now. You have Democrats that will take up the bully pulpit and they'll say, Americans are suffering and getting crushed, and they tell you how bad it is with And of course, it's all just blaming the rich, saying, "Oh, it's the rich's fault." But no, you'll find Democrats on the bully pulpit, and they'll say Americans are struggling, more Americans living paycheck to paycheck than ever before. And then the lead spokeswoman for the Democrat Party comes out and says, "You've got more breathing room than ever. You're doing great. It's Bidenomics." And you're like, "What the hell? You just were talking about how bad we have it, and it's true." Anybody earning, and I mean, it's all about economic decisions, but people that are earning $100,000 and less, it's like 75% are living paycheck to paycheck. There's that breathing room. There's that breathing room, and it's slowly even being chipped away even more. Breathing room, she says. All right, she gets asked about Hunter Biden's artwork, but I'm sure she'll answer this question with complete honesty here in clip 4.
Elizabeth Naftali, she's made more than a dozen visits here to the White House and met with some of the president's most senior advisors. Can you tell us a little bit more about those visits, why she was here?
I would have to look into that. I've not been tracking these visits that you're mentioning to me.
She's not been tracking. She doesn't know. Nobody knows, really. Nobody's been tracking anything. They can't even track a bag of cocaine or weed. We just don't know. And where is Joe Biden anyway? Hey, do you think, can Joe Biden come out and play? Can Joe come out and play? No, he's too busy. No, we've heard that. He's fixing the economy. No, we're suffocating. I don't know anything about that, actually. I don't know anything. Who's Joe Biden? Maybe that'll be the next one. Don't do it, Joe. Don't kill me, Joe. I just want to live, Joe. Put the gun down. Put the gun down from America's head, Joe. Never give up on America. Never give up on the ideas, the values, the visions of freedom and self-government. It was worth fighting for then. It's worth fighting for now. And we have the honor to be heroes for future generations, to be the victors for freedom and a pro-human future. Now, Dianne Feinstein has been one of the most devastating factors against us, but she is not long for this world. May she rest in peace when her time does come. But she's 90 years old. She does not belong anywhere near a Senate floor. She hasn't been in good health for months. She's been in and out of the hospital for this entire congressional session. But they put her up there for a vote today, and I am sure she is clearly under full control of her own thoughts and decisions, as you can see here in clip 2.
Senator Feinstein.
Say aye. Pardon me?
Aye.
Yeah.
Just say
I would like to support a yes vote on this. It provides $823 billion. That's an increase of $26 billion for the Department of Defense. And it funds priorities submitted.
yeah, just say aye.
Okay, just
Great,
aye.
Thank you.
All right. Now, I'm laughing at that. You're laughing at that. The crew is laughing at that. But, you know, and maybe this is a good thing. You finally get to see how things really work in D.C. Just like the other day with Stacey Pliskett, who's a big Epstein. She took a bunch of money from Epstein, by the way. Remember Pliskett last week with the weird girl behind her, like seemingly directing her words? So you see, this is what really goes on, folks. Now, you know, I should probably revisit that issue for a second, and also tell you that this ties into what I'm going to get into later in the show. We have a real vision into the psychology of the American left now, and I'm going to explain it to you and why it's so dangerous. But this is a perfect example. Now, of course, you see the people, oh, it's lizard mind control, all this stuff. Look, I'm going to tell you, the most likely scenario here is that staffer that works for Pliskett was placed by somebody and probably has some form of autism or a mental disorder, wrote the entire thing, and it was really dedicated to it. I mean, if you've ever met somebody with autism like that, they pay attention to detail. So she probably wrote the whole thing. Pliskett never read it before. And so she's there struggling to read it. And so the girl with autism or whatever behind is like, lipping it out, like lip syncing it out because she wrote the whole thing. She's memorized it. She wants to make sure it goes over smoothly. Plaskett, I don't know the freaking demon's name. Stacey Plaskett, thank you guys. But see, that's how it works. Most of these politicians are essentially sock puppets. They're owned. They're told what to do. They're told what to say. And we get to see it all. I mean, you are witnessing it all. From the staffers that write their speech to the people that sit right next to them and tell them how to vote. Who are these people? Who is telling Dianne Feinstein she has to vote? Who is telling and writing Stacey Plaskett's speeches? Who are they? They're placed there. And they stay there forever. And now Elon Musk has weighed in after the Mitch McConnell situation yesterday. He says we need a constitutional amendment, insinuating we need an age limit to Congress. I disagree. See, this is our problem here. The answer to all of our problems is not more government. Now, that might seem like the easy solution is to govern our way, legislate our way out of this. No, that creates the problem. No, we need to have informed voters and an election system we can trust. That's how you solve this. Nobody in their right mind should ever vote for Dianne Feinstein. Nobody in their right mind should ever vote for Mitch McConnell. And maybe they don't. So no, we don't need age restrictions in Congress. We need an informed voter and an election system that works. I don't want to govern our way out of this problem. I want to inform ourselves out of this problem. That's what this is all about. But there you go. I mean, it's just, that is ridiculous. Just say I, just say I, just say I, just say I. Would you just say I, you damn woman? The epitome of political corruption and control. Folks, And they don't. Why is Dianne Feinstein still in Congress? Why is Dianne Feinstein still in the Senate? Because somebody else wants her there. It's unbelievable. I mean, should I even get into the latest from Joe Biden? I mean, this is just hilarious. So they're pushing the whole global warming thing. We expect them to do that. It's hot, guys. I got news. It's hot. Breaking news. It's hot. It's the hottest. In fact, CNN says it's the hottest it's been in 120,000 years. Man, those scientists 120,000 years ago kept good records, didn't they? They were scratching it onto caves and everything. Have you seen it? Have you seen the cave drawings of the temperature measurements for 120,000 years? It's amazing. Yeah, they found a cave with 120,000 years of scientific data scratched into one cave. Amazing. They were into meteorology and weather even then. Interesting. How did they have the tools? If the theory of human evolution is real, then how did they have the tools to measure the temperature back then? Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing. That's a lie, too. But, okay, it's the hottest it's ever been. It's hot. It's hot. Hillary Clinton says, blame MAGA Republicans. So I say, you're welcome. Because hot weather's better than cold. That's scientific fact, by the way. Well, Joe Biden has the solution. Listen to this. We've had it so wrong. Joe Biden, if you're hot, here's Joe Biden's solution in clip 3.
Well, it's not going to alleviate it, right? The heat problem right now.
What?
We also have a number of programs to do everything from allow people to have the ability to get help to literally paint their roofs white, to change their windows and doors and get tax credits for doing it, so heat doesn't. So air conditioning doesn't escape. To be able, there's a whole bunch of programs that are out there that as we get through the heat wave, that as we get by this worst part, that we're able to invest in the communities to keep it from happening as badly next time it occurs.
Just paint your roof white. Just paint your roof white. Seems like a dog whistle for a white supremacist. You shouldn't have a black roof. You should have a white roof. By the way, is anybody going to paint their roof white? I've never even seen that. Yeah, okay, we've got windows and you can secure the AC better in your house. Like that's Joe Biden just discovered that, folks. He's saving us. Now it gets even more ridiculous. Greg Cesar, he's a communist from Austin, Texas. He did a hunger thirst strike yesterday. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Guys, pull this up. We've got our cave measurements behind us for the temperature from 120,000 years ago. Honestly, cavemen 120,000 years ago are smarter than a modern-day liberal. They knew there were two sexes. But Greg Cesar, this is genuinely hilarious. Can you guys please put the shot on the screen? He did a thirst and hunger strike, 9 hours without water or food. And he says he's never been more energized to get this done. And so he was joined by some others out there on his hunger and thirst strike. 9 hours, guys. 9 hours. 9 whole hours. That's probably because, they don't work much in D.C. You probably go once a week 9 hours without food or water just because you work your ass off. For him, though, it was a stunt, a political stunt. And, guys, you got to put the one image on the screen where he's got the heart rate monitor. I mean, folks, this is ridiculous. He's acting like he's dying, and he has a heart rate monitor. I run wind sprints in the field here in Austin and do kettlebell exercises in 110-degree heat for an hour straight, and I don't need a heart monitor. This wuss bag, talk about a drama queen. I mean, ridiculous. When I sleep at night, I go 9 hours and 9 hours without food and water. These Democrat libtards are just, I need a heart rate. I'm sacrificing myself for the cause. I need the full Greg Cesar, the commie, image on the screen. Talk about dramatics. This is probably more dramatic than when AOC faked to be arrested, when AOC faked like she was at the border at the fence. They're all into acting. Nothing will ever top Jussie Smollett that we've seen. But this is truly, look, I love it. He's got like a whole crew there, like a bag of eyes, like, oh my gosh, oh. Tell me you've never played baseball in your life. Tell me you've never played baseball in your life. I sat in the sun for 9 hours. I needed a heart rate monitor. It's not like you're Lizzo or something here. She might actually, that might need some help. I am actually in a heat struggle session right now. This is not even a joke. The AC is out in this studio. What is the temperature right now? We're at 86. That's why I'm in the t-shirt today. By the end of the show, I'll probably be sweating out. So I am risking it all, like Greg Cesar. This is a heat struggle session. How ridiculous is this? This was after he did his little political stunt there. His heat struggle session. He tweeted this out. Honestly, what planet do liberals live on? I mean, I'm serious. What? They don't live on Earth with us. He says, every single worker should have the right to a basic water break. We have to put people over profits. Is there anywhere in America where you can't get a water break? Anywhere. I mean, what? I could sit in this studio for 72 straight hours taking phone calls saying, have you ever been denied a water break? You don't get water breaks in America? Hey, Greg Cesar, you dirty commie. The only countries where you're denied water breaks are communist countries. Oh, the irony. Oh, and the temperature in D.C.? What even is the temperature in D.C. right now? that he's heat struggling through, that he needs to have a heart rate monitor. It's so hard. He's sitting. He's sitting. So he's not running. He's not moving. He's not doing a speech. He's sitting. It got up to 97 in D.C. today. Pretty hot. Pretty hot. Pretty humid there, too. What are we at in Austin? We're probably at about 100 today. But I did not realize that we live in a communist country. Oh, yeah, I did. Democrats are in control. So I guess that's why people aren't getting the water break now, because we live in a communist country run by Democrats. And so Greg Cesar is fighting for a water break for you. You know what? You know what? Water's for the weak. How about that? Water's for the weak. You don't even need water. That's what the communists would tell you, that tells you can't have a water break. Greg Cesar is a communist complaining he doesn't get a water break. This comedy writes itself. They're really pushing this, though. This was in CNN today, too. They want you to think eating bugs is cool. Tokyo's insect restaurant brings water bug cider to the table. And it's all about how popular it is in Tokyo and how popular eating bugs is. And yes, eating cockroaches. Hey, you know what? That's cool if the Japanese are into that. I'm not Japanese. I'm American. I eat steak. Yeah. I eat steak. And I cook it, too. So, good for you. Your fine cuisine in Japan is bugs, which it's not. This isn't even accurate. It's not like the Japanese are eating bugs all the time. They're not. It's just they find a picture in a restaurant and they say, see, it's cool. You eat the bug, American. But, you know, how can you praise anything about Japanese culture? Don't you know the lack of diversity there is racist? So, I don't know. I don't like CNN praising Japanese culture. We all know how racist it is. Yeah, we like brisket. Literally, there is a shirt in my studio right now that says I love brisket. That's how much this crew loves beef. I just wish, what I wish is that the lefties would just live the life they promote to us. So you guys out there, stop eating meat, stop driving cars, stop going to ball games and concerts, go live in a cave, go live in a tree, and just leave us alone. Life would be so much better. I agree. They think it would be better. So do I. Go live in a cave and just hide from society because it causes global warming. No, that's not an accurate reading. That's the far away meter. The crew is gaslighting me now. Because this is what they do. This is what the mainstream media does. I'm not going to do this to you. See, the mainstream media shows you the temperature gauge that they want you to see. They don't show you the real temperature gauge, and they spike it. The crew is showing you the temperature gauge that's all the way on the other side of the studio. The real temperature gauge is right above me right now. And it's still at 86. But see, that's what they do, is they pick and choose what temperature readings they want you to see. So they say, see, it's global warming, see? Oh, should we just do that maybe? Just put HD shots of somebody slicing up some brisket? Oh, I'm sorry. I fell into a trance there. I apologize. All right, let's do this. Let's go to some of these clips from the Capitol today. My God. Oh. What would you rather stare at, Margot Robbie or somebody slicing up some juicy brisket? All right, we gotta get the brisket. Now I'm sweating even more. Now I'm like, all right, let's cover some news. This is at the Capitol. So now it's congressional testimony that there are only two genders, and it's just hilarious. I mean, their own logic befuddles them. How can you have gender affirmation surgery if there's only two genders and gender is a spectrum, then why do you have to change your organs to have gender affirmation if your organs don't matter for gender? So it's just their own logic destroys itself. But this is where we're at now. This is where we're at. I'm not sure which one of these clips is better. Here's Representative Wesley Hunt just going full Super Saiyan today on the issue of two genders in clip 16.
Ms. Scanlon, my daughters are going to watch this because you have become their new hero, and I can assure you that my 4-year-old and my 2-year-old daughters will not change in front of biological men. This is ridiculous. I don't care what party you are a part of. If you think that we're all equal and the same biologically, you've literally lost your mind. And when my 2 daughters work hard in the sport, work hard in their craft to be the best that they can be amongst other women, they will compete against other women. I owe Victoria and Olivia and every other young lady in this country that. If you think I'm wrong, I am not the problem. I can assure you.
You American leftists have no idea the monster you are about to unleash. You really don't. You think Trump is your problem? The reaction you've had to Trump, get ready for the average American like Wesley Hunt to put their eyes on you. It's like a lioness. You come messing with the cubs, that lioness puts its eyes on you. You know what happens next, right? You know what happens next. You know. Harriet Hagman, maybe this one. Actually, let's do that one last. Here is this is the professor that was called up there. This is your expert in gender and sex because, you know, it takes experts now to explain to liberals that there's only two genders. And so here's what she had to say in clip 14.
I read Ms. Scanlon's testimony. I wasn't here to hear it, and I think Penn didn't deal with your situation like they could have and should have in putting up some type of different barriers in the women's area of the locker room.
Ms. Scanlon, we just heard my Democrat colleague, Mr. Cohen, say that your circumstance could have been fully resolved if we'd have just had some barriers up in the women's showers. Do you think that that's a sufficient way to resolve what we're dealing with here?
I think by Representative Cohen admitting that we need barriers acknowledges there are biological differences between men and women. And by acknowledging that we need to have private spaces that are separate from each other, why can't we just use the locker rooms that we've always used, the men's and the women's? If you're acknowledging that we need protection and privacy from these men, then you're acknowledging that the locker rooms we've always used are the correct ones.
Somebody shut this woman down. She's thinking logically. She get her some fluoride. Direct fluoride into the pineal gland. But see, isn't that hilarious? So there it is, your Democrat Representative Cohen saying, well, you know, we obviously need barriers here so that you're not subjected to men in the female restroom. Oh, wow, you don't say. Wow, here's a radical idea. Why don't we have two different bathrooms, one for men, one for women? I've solved it. I've done it. Yeah. We figured it out, guys. Two different bathrooms. One for men, one for women. That will protect women from perverted men that want to strip down naked and see women naked. And it's thank God we're discovering this now in the year 2023 and avoiding a total catastrophe. But isn't that hilarious? The Democrat is like, yeah, I guess something should be done. There should be a barrier, shouldn't there? I mean, how do you even explain such stupidity? And then it's over now. Harriet Hagman teased it up for the whole argument to be put down in clip 10.
There's a 100% failure rate for sex change operations, isn't there? Because it's not possible to change your sex.
That's right.
100% failure rate for these procedures.
That's right. You can't change your sex.
Well, there you go. There it is. By the way, you want to see what happens to people that do change their sex? This is actually tragic, and I think there may be another story behind it. Look at Elliot Page recently in an interview. Now, this formerly Ellen Page, I mean, I don't think anybody would say she's a perfect 10, but she was definitely a good-looking woman. She was universally an attractive woman. I would say most men would agree with that, if not all. And, well, here's what she looks like and sounds like now.
What's bringing you joy these days?
All kinds of stuff. I mean, when you go from being absurdly uncomfortable all the time, to the degree that you can like barely fucking think or function. Excuse me. Should not say the F word.
Listen, at this point, Elliot, you're such a Canadian icon.
Pull it down real quick. Just pull it down because there's another one here. We need to dump that. It's all right. They quit cursing after that. All right, go ahead and dump that. Make up our time and pick it back up.
Wow, that's an honor.
Congratulations.
You know, to go from being barely able to think or function to not really understand how people go about their lives, like to waking up and feeling present and feeling embodied. I mean, that's joy to me. It's having coffee in the silence with my dog in the morning, truly. So it's, of course, the big, obvious moments. And for me, it's also very much the moments in stillness. And so much for me right now when we do think about...
All right, so that's enough. That's just a complete travesty there. Ellen Page was a classical feminine beauty, and so she had to be destroyed by Hollywood. But, you know, I think there may be something else going on here that's actually sad. And maybe a little bit of this came out with her book and some of the stuff she wrote about. But you know, to me, this sounds like a victim of sexual abuse, actually. And so you notice she talks about how she was always uncomfortable and all of this stuff. Well, when you're young and you have grown men that you're working with that are probably approaching you aggressively for sex, you probably enter a phase where you are so sick of that lifestyle and abuse, you literally will mangle yourself and make yourself ugly to avoid it. And I'm wondering if that's not what happened to Ellen, now Elliot Page. But just what a tragedy. This is what liberalism does, folks. And it's ugly. It's sad. Well, I will always just correct the record. That's what I do here. And so I told you the crew was trying to gaslight you. They're still back there shouting at me, but see, when they showed you this, when the crew showed you that right there, that was gaslighting you. It's not 81 degrees in here. Now, pull up the real temperature gauge that's actually above me. Go ahead. There you go. So now, the climate change liars do the reverse of this. They show you the highest possible temperature that they can. So the crew's trying to gaslight you that, oh, look, Schroyer's complaining that it's hot in the studio. It's really not that hot. But then, no, there's the real temperature reading. But the fake news media does the reverse. They try to find the highest possible temperature measurements they can and then convince you that it's hotter than it's ever been. Now, again, it's worth going back into this. You know, there are weather modification. There are weather weapons. So we can, I mean, I'm not saying because we have industrialized, that's causing global warming or climate change. I'm saying that if the psychotics that run this planet, the mad scientists that run this planet wanted to disrupt the natural climate, they could do it. And who knows what kind of things they are currently doing to do just that. So I get it. Hey, the lies about man-made climate change forcing us into a global government and slavery on this planet, we should address those. But let's not be so quick to discount that, yeah, they might cause extreme weather events. That they could actually do that. So it's important to remember those dynamics of this. All right, now, we have a big sale going on right now at InfoWarsStore.com. It is the Patriot Pride Month sale, and almost everything is at a deep discount. A lot of great products, 50% off, like Brain Force Plus, Brain Force Ultra, the Ultimate Nootropics, Prebiotic Fiber, Immune Support Formula, Organic Greens Fiber Caps, all 50% off. Ultimate Bone Broth is 40% off. I'm telling you, this is Ultimate Bone Broth, not just the bone broth, which is well known for all kinds of different health benefits, but it's also got the chaga mushroom in there. It's got the bee pollen in there. It's got more than 20 grams of protein in there. So I like to put it into a protein shake, post-workout protein shake. Primal Human Nutrition. Ultimate Bone Broth Plus, 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Tastes great. It's not exactly the time of year for coffee, but it does taste great in coffee as well. 40% off. This is part of the July Patriot Pride Month sale going on. Only a few days left, though. Only a few days left in July, so only a few days left on this sale right now at InfoWarsStore.com. And don't forget double Patriot points with every order that can be applied towards future purchases. Okay, some more action from the Capitol today. There was a vote to fund the VA. How do you think it went? Here's an update from one of your congressmen.
Just came off the House floor where we voted to appropriate all the veterans programs, so we give money to the veterans programs. Every Republican voted yes to fund VA programs. Every Democrat voted no. For months and months, the Democrats have been saying that the Republicans do not care about veterans. They've been saying that, exhausting that. And today, on the floor, we voted for it. They voted against it. They're the ones that do not care about our veterans.
I think the most obvious takeaway from this has to be the fact that not a single Democrat has ever voted against funding for Ukraine. And today, every single Democrat voted against funding veterans' care. That should tell you everything right there. And it tells you an awful lot, doesn't it? Every time funding Ukraine was put to a vote, every single Democrat voted for it. Today, a vote to fund the VA, and not a single Democrat voted for it. And so it really adds insult to injury. Not only do they steal your money and give it to Ukraine, when they have an opportunity to give some money back to you or to a good cause, they vote against it. These Democrats hate you. Have you figured that out yet? They hate you. And maybe I should get into this on the other side. I was going to use a last segment of the hour because that's the longest, and I need a lot of time to break this down. But maybe we should just do it on the other side with the flow of today's transmission. I'm going to go into the psychology of the American left in the next segment. And I'm going to show you why it's so dangerous. And I'm going to show you with the proof that these people hate you and they would love nothing more than to see you tortured to death. I get it. Sounds crazy. Can't be the case. Folks, I will prove it. I will show you the evidence. You can hear it from their own lips. Trust me. Trust me. The modern day American left would love nothing more than to see you tortured to death. Why would every single Democrat vote to fund Ukraine and not a single Democrat vote to fund our veterans? You know, I don't want to see a single Democrat ever wear an American flag lapel ever again, because that's stolen valor. I don't want to see, you know what? No, I'm serious. I want Democrats, you guys should shut your mouths when the national anthem plays. Don't put your hand over your heart. Take your silly knee, burn the flag, never vote to fund the veterans. Go ahead. I mean, let's just rip the mask right off. You guys hate America. You hate patriots. You want to see this country and everybody that loves it burned to the ground. So no, I don't want to see you, because that's what you do. They steal valor. That's why that guy, we played the clip yesterday. American liberal, leftist, goes on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, and he talks about how much he hates conservatives, and he does it wearing an American flag shirt. Because it's stolen valor, folks. It's a spit in your face. He hates America. He wears that like stolen valor, like, oh, see, like, oh, no, I'm an American. You can trust me. But really inside, he wants you destroyed. And this wasn't even going to be part of my presentation, but it lends right into it. I mean, it just goes to the flow of the show. If you didn't see it yesterday, do we have the audio, guys? Let's just go ahead and just play a clip of it. He wears the flag apparel as stolen valor. He wears the flag apparel like he's a chameleon, like he's a patriot. He's not. He wants this country burned to the ground, and he would celebrate if you got burned to the ground with it.
He won as a black conservative. Why is she one for have her own opinion? I think that white Nazis are also bad.
I'm talking about Candace Owens now.
Oh, that she has every right to express her opinion. I have every right to call her very mean names for expressing those opinions.
Do you hate black conservatives?
I hate conservatives. Do I hate black conservatives?
How about black ones?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I do love all people. But I hate black conservatives and white conservatives.
And why do you hate
so
black
just
conservatives?
Understand, so that's good.
I hate all
so just understand, that's a taunt. Wearing the American flag like that, he's taunting you. He hates the country. He hates the flag. He hates you. He just told you. So that's all a taunt. So no, I'm not going to be taunted by you liberals anymore. Don't wear your American flag lapels. That's stolen valor. Don't pretend like you have pride in the country. Don't pretend like you're American patriots fighting for the patriot vote. You're not. You're all dirty commies. You all hate the country, and it's not. You don't even hide it anymore. So no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see you wearing the American flag. You know what? That takes some honor. It takes honor to be an American. You're not an American. You're a dirty, rotten communist. I'm going to show you right now why the American left psychology is dangerous, psychotic, and a direct threat to your immediate health and your future. Let's start with what they've just done recently politically. Not a single time that aid for Ukraine has come to a vote has a Democrat vote against it. So in other words, Democrats have voted in unison every single time to send aid to Ukraine. The Democrats have also now twice voted against any oversight of that. So they vote for unlimited funding and weapons to Ukraine, and then they vote against any transparency, any oversight, any idea that the American people might get or clue they might get into what or how it's actually being used or what for. Then, today, every single Democrat voted against funding the VA. Unlimited money for Ukraine, no money for American veterans. So that's what they do politically to just rub it in how much they hate you. But let's look at the things they do and say outside of just politics. Now, they like to pretend that they know the conservative, and that's why they have to stand up against it, but they don't. Here's a perfect example. David Hogg, responding to Mitch McConnell blacking out on his feet yesterday. If Biden did what Mitch McConnell did today, the media would be covering nonstop for the next 2 weeks.
I'm looking for partners, collaborators, colleagues who want to join forces with me around the globe and create real value, generational wealth, and financial freedom for everyone else around the world. Get involved in the cryptocurrency markets, get involved in the NFT markets. This is your moment. Life all comes down to a few moments. Don't let this pass. Now it's not too late. Next year's going to be too late. Ultimately, this is about freedom. That's the way I see it. This is about giving power back to the people and enabling billions of people worldwide to use the financial markets to improve their lives and those of their friends and their families and their communities. Honestly, I think it's a violation of human rights not to allow people basic access to financial services. Because right now people are being kept in the dark, they're being robbed of education, and it's a travesty. And so I'm looking for people that want to join me and be a part of this solution. And that all happens inside the DeFi Academy. The gains my students are making are absolutely amazing. Double, triple digit gains in the first month alone. That's amazing. This will change your life. Now is the time to get involved. I'm going to tell you exactly how my students in my academy made money in the last 30 days. I'm talking about real trading results. And let me just whet your appetite a little bit. Let me hit you with some numbers. I'm talking Brendan from New Zealand is up 68.77% on the month. Steve from Europe up 83%. Albert in Singapore up 169.9% on one single trade. I got Susan up 153% on her call options alone. Also rocking 139% returns and 442% returns as well on individual trades. These are people that are changing their financial future in the last 30 days, but it's based on trading discipline.
I've graduated over 500 students from inside my academy.
from over 54 countries around the world. It's amazing. When it comes to crypto, DeFi, and blockchain, we love this space. We truly believe it's the future. This is down to our core. It's authentic to what we're doing, and everybody can tell through the camera because you can't make this stuff up. If you're watching me now, wherever you are, I implore you, take 60 seconds right now and join my academy. Apply today. Now you've got a chance. Life all comes down to a few moments. What are you going to do? What's the choice that you're going to make?